Alright guys, I wanted to give you guys my first impressions of the Diablo 4 beta. Captured some footage here. This is a treasure goblin for the first time. It was pretty cool. He dropped 2 legendaries. The itemization has been pretty fair in terms of like the quality of items that drop. It's not insanely crazy like Diablo 3 when it comes to loot. I felt like it was fair. Again, this is a beta, things can change, but I felt like, even though this goblin dropped 2 legendaries like that, I haven't seen that at all in the game. But yeah, let's talk about the beta. Hit level 20 with the barbarian, and I've been having a lot of fun with this game. It's gonna be hard when this beta leaves because I've genuinely been having a great time. You start out with that big cinematic from 2019, I believe. That's the beginning of the game, the 3 by come or whatever it's called. And then you choose your character. And I chose a barbarian. And the first weekend, you're going to be playing the barbarian, sorceress, and rogue. And next weekend, you're going to be able to play the druid and the necromancer. So I chose the barbarian, the classic, iconic Diablo character. And I just kind of wanted to see how he plays and feels compared to the other games. I really like the combat in this game. It felt pretty good. And I feel like, I still need to play more. I still need to sink more of my teeth into this game because, one little beta is not going to, really give me a really good understanding of the game. I got a pretty good idea of how the combat works, how the game works. We played the first zone, Fractured Peaks. There's a lot to do in this beta. It keeps you busy. But I got a pretty good feel for the combat and the weight of it. And it feels really good. It feels somewhere in between like Diablo 2 and 3. It's really hard to put my finger on it. But it doesn't feel like Diablo 3. And it doesn't feel like Diablo 2. Like it feels like its own thing. The weight of every attack feels really good, and there's a good kind of mix up of having to do attacks and then build up fury and then spend those furies and then utilizing your potion. Like I felt like it felt really good. And we'll see what that looks like, after level 20, I think 25 in the beta. I will reach 25, but it'll be interesting to see what that looks like, in the future when you're higher level and you got more skills unlocked and better gear. But so far, the gameplay feels really good, and I'm enjoying it. I do want to play the rogue and the sorcerer to try those guys out too. So let's move on to gear. Again, it felt fair in the way gear was being distributed, like looted, dropped. I do think that this game is going to cater more to a casual fan base or player base. So it's definitely not like Diablo 2 where, that game just feels so hard to find, really good gear. It takes time. It really takes time to get to a point where you're finding really good stuff and you're finding a rhythm, especially in the early game. Excuse me. In Diablo 4, this feels a little bit more like Diablo 3 when it comes to gear. Definitely a lot closer to Diablo 3 where gear kind of drops abundantly and you're able to upgrade your stuff way quicker than you were able to in Diablo 2. So again, gameplay feels a little bit in between, but loot still kind of has that Diablo 3-esque feel to it. And I know maybe a lot of people are not going to enjoy that, but this is the way, moving forward for Diablo. I feel like this is more in line with pleasing a broader audience to play the Diablo franchise. And I think it's fine as long as, they keep doing it right. Like, I don't want legendaries to constantly fly from the sky. I don't think that's fun. It doesn't really add value to the item when, it's very easy to find. But where do you balance that out, right? Because you want people to play this game and enjoy it. Not everybody has all the time in the world. So it's a pretty challenging ask. I want to talk about the just the map and the landscape of the game, because it's really, really impressive and beautiful. Like, there's snowy areas, and then there's like areas where it's melting, and there's waterfalls and streams. Like, the game looks really, really good. The game looks beautiful. The engine looks beautiful. Like, the art style, the tone, the darkness, the atmosphere in some of the areas and some of the dungeons, the enemy design, like, all of this stuff is just top notch. I'm really enjoying the direction that they took. This game looks like what we wanted from Diablo 3 when Diablo 3 dropped. Instead of getting that super colorful palette, like, Diablo 3 has a perfect tone. And some areas are going to be lighter than others, but it really does retain that, that dark, gritty tone of what Diablo is supposed to look like. This is a dark game. And yeah, speaking of dark, like, one of the first cutscenes in the game, you see Lilith, and I don't want to get too far into it, but it's a pretty messed up cutscene. So, like Lilith is pretty crazy. She's going around persuading and convincing people that, sin is good, and she pretty much makes, like, man do fucked up shit. And we'll have to see what, the storyline looks like as you continue further. There's going to be 4 more zones. So we were only in the first zone. There's a lot to do in this beta. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff to do in each zone. There's the main quest, there's the side quests. There's quite a bit of side questing to do. There's quite a bit of events that randomly appear. There's constantly things happening and you could do, which I really like. And that moves me on to the open world. And this is the first time where we've had a true open world Diablo game. And I think, it's really exciting, because I kind of always wanted a Diablo game that was open and shared, and you were able to see other players. And Diablo 2 kind of did that back in the day in its own limitations. Like, you were still able to play with a lot of people and join the online and see everybody's character on the bottom of the screen, and you can go into private lobbies. You could create games and join games. It felt like an MMO, even though it wasn't an MMO, because it was limited to the times. So fast forward to Diablo 4, this is still an action RPG, but it has MMO elements to it. You're able to see players out in the world, more so in the cities and the little villages, but you will run into players out in the world, and I think that's pretty cool. It reminds me of, like, Destiny, where you're out doing things and you might see a player and you may never do anything. You might just cross paths and he goes one way and you go another, and that's it. but it's still cool. It feels like this living, breathing world. And again, I've always kind of wanted that from Diablo 4 or a Diablo game. We'll just have to wait and see what that looks like, because if you're gonna, in my opinion, if you're gonna go that route with this open world, shared world, you're gonna have seasons and battle pass and all that crap. But if you do it right, and if you continue to add content and grow this game, I think you're gonna have something really, really special. And that's my opinion with, Diablo being open world now, and shared world and online only. I know there's people out there who really want a single player Diablo 4 experience. And I hear you, man, because there are times like yesterday where there were connectivity issues and we were waiting in queue. Like I would have put way more hours into Diablo 4 yesterday had I not encountered disconnecting and stuff like that. So I know a lot of people play Diablo 2, completely offline, and I respect that. And it's kind of hard to really lean on one or the other, because I do understand both. I do understand, keeping Diablo single player, or giving you the option to play Diablo single player, which is really cool because the other ones have done that. I can't remember if Diablo 3 was single player or not, if it gave you the option, but I do also understand the the more ambitious approach of trying to go bigger with Diablo. And again, if they execute it right, they could have something really special here. We still have 4 more zones. This game is going to be massive. From what I'm seeing, there's so much stuff to do, and the Fractured Peaks, the first zone, is really big. There's 4 more. It's gonna be interesting to see, what this game really looks like at launch and further down the road. But I played as the Barbarian, had a great time. I do want to check out the Rogue soon. But those are kind of my first impressions of the game. I've had a lot of fun with it. Is this beta gonna like completely wow you, and is it gonna be the next big thing? Probably not. Like, if you're if you're someone who's never played the game and you don't know if you're gonna pre-order or not, I would say hold up. Wait for next weekend. It's going to be free for everyone. Check it out then. And I usually don't say this, but I am trying to keep my Diablo biases in check, because I know I love Diablo. I know I'm a massive Diablo fan. But I also know that this is a beta, and it's not perfect. Frames drop. You might have connectivity issues. You might have all these issues that you might not have the patience for. But someone like me, I don't care. I'm gonna grind it out, hit level 20, and try to get the most of this beta, because I'm a huge Diablo fan. Like, that's why I don't recommend maybe you go out and pre-order this game and play the just for the beta sake. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Check it out when it's free next week. The reason why I don't say like this game is gonna wow you in any way is because we're only seeing a glimpse of the game. There's a lot of things locked. There's a lot of things that are still gonna, we're gonna have to wait and see what that looks like when the game drops, and even some time after that. We know how Blizzard games are. We know how these type of games roll out. It takes time for them to get better and better. But I am excited for Diablo 4. I am so excited that I got my hands on it. We did have some issues yesterday. There was some disconnecting, but I just kind of wanted to play so bad that it didn't ruin my excitement. Like, I disconnected 4 times yesterday. It did get better throughout the day. The worst thing about it was really just getting back in queue, getting back in line, because it takes forever to, get back in line to get back into the game because of the queues. But I had a lot of fun with it. Again, I just want more. I want to see what this game looks like, what this game is going to evolve to. And yeah, what else? Did I miss anything? Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy this beta. I don't want to talk too much about like story and stuff like that because I want you to experience that. I don't want to give any of that away. So I just pretty much have gameplay footage up there. I don't have any like story spoilers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, put it in the comments section below. I do enjoy reading those. And if you like this video, give it a like. Consider subscribing. I do plan on making more Diablo 4 content for you. And that wraps up the video, guys. Thank you so much. Take it easy.